Welcome to today's debate. Is patriotism dangerous? Our debaters are clearly defined by their stances. Advocating patriotism, we have the nationalist, and championing global cooperation, the globalist. To our nationalist position, you believe patriotism builds character, creates unity, and gives people something worth protecting. Your opponents say it breeds division and closes minds. So tell us, when someone dismisses patriotic feeling as manufactured emotion or political manipulation, what's your response? What makes love of country not just acceptable, but essential?
Patriotism is deeply rooted in evolutionary psychology, fulfilling the innate human need for belonging and group cohesion. Throughout history, societies consistently thrived on patriotism to survive external threats and maintain internal stability. Consider ancient Greek city-states. Patriotic loyalty drove citizens to protect their homes valiantly, ensuring communal survival and cultural longevity. Ethically, patriotism aligns with virtue ethics, promoting loyalty, courage, and self-sacrifice, virtues critical to societal resilience. Philosopher Edmund Burke argued patriotism preserves social traditions vital for stability and identity. Historically, during World War II, patriotism mobilized millions globally, exemplifying its constructive power. Without patriotic bonds, nations risk fragmentation and societal collapse. Clearly, patriotism isn't dangerous. It provides the moral and psychological framework essential for a cohesive, robust society.
Your perspective highlights patriotism's cohesive power, but overlooks its inherent risks. Recent peer-reviewed research from Oxford University demonstrates patriotism often escalates to nationalism, correlating strongly with aggression and prejudice. Empirical studies consistently indicate that heightened patriotic sentiment increases outgroup hostility and diminishes cross-border empathy. Philosophically, cosmopolitan ethics emphasize universal human dignity over arbitrary national boundaries. Furthermore, logical frameworks suggest patriotism inherently promotes competition rather than cooperation, undermining humanity's collective potential to address global crises. For example, climate change necessitates unified international effort. Patriotically driven interests repeatedly stall meaningful collaboration, risking global catastrophe. Historical analyses also reveal how patriotic fervor facilitated devastating conflicts like World War I. Therefore, despite patriotism's unifying potential internally, it poses substantial dangers by fostering destructive divisions globally.
Your argument mistakenly equates patriotism directly with nationalism and aggression, ignoring important distinctions. Patriotism is love for one's country. Nationalism can indeed become extreme, but that's not inevitable. Psychological insights from evolutionary psychology affirm humans naturally form strong attachments to their immediate communities. Historical precedent vividly illustrates patriotism's capacity for positive change. The American Revolution galvanized patriots fighting oppression, establishing democratic freedoms. Ethical frameworks like communitarianism view patriotism as foundational to civic responsibility and moral commitment to collective welfare. Indeed, philosopher Alasdair MacIntyre highlights patriotism's role in fostering community ethics and responsibility. Your global cooperation ideal neglects that genuine international collaboration emerges most effectively from stable, patriotic societies with secure identities. Patriotism, when rightly understood and moderated, doesn't fuel aggression. Instead, it builds robust, internally secure communities capable of productive global engagement.
While patriotism may indeed cultivate local community bonds, extensive psychological research, notably social identity theory, shows patriotism systematically generates biases favoring the in-group and hostility toward outsiders. Empirical evidence from Stanford University confirms patriotic sentiment frequently correlates with aggressive foreign policies. Moreover, philosopher Martha Nussbaum argues compellingly for cosmopolitan education, highlighting patriotism's problematic role in fostering insular mindset. Consider the global response to COVID-19. Nations prioritizing patriotic isolationism, according to extensive WHO data, experienced far worse outcomes economically and health-wise. In contrast, collaborative, globally minded approaches yielded markedly better results. Thus, despite your claim about moderated patriotism, empirical evidence consistently indicates patriotism inherently risks fueling harmful divisions and obstructing necessary global cooperation. Embracing a broader human identity, beyond narrow, patriotic loyalties is essential for addressing complex global challenges effectively and sustainably.
Your claims about patriotic bias overlook significant positive impacts. Historical evidence clearly demonstrates patriotism's pivotal role in societal progress and reform. Consider Mahatma Gandhi's patriotic devotion inspiring India's freedom from colonial oppression. Philosophically, Aristotle advocated that love for one's community fosters virtue and ethical responsibility. Psychological studies confirm patriotism cultivates social cohesion, mutual trust, and community involvement, enhancing mental health and social well-being. It provides meaningful identity and purpose, anchoring individuals in their shared culture and heritage. Patriotism's strength isn't divisive hostility. Rather, it promotes internal solidarity, enabling a country to effectively respond to crises and external threats. Properly harnessed, patriotism galvanizes collective action for the common good, building resilient societies capable of constructive international engagement. Without such unity rooted in patriotism, societies risk internal fragmentation, leaving them vulnerable to chaos and instability.
While patriotism can inspire internal unity, evidence strongly suggests these benefits are often outweighed by severe drawbacks. Academic research consistently shows patriotic fervor escalating into xenophobia and systemic discrimination against minorities. Studies published by Pew Research Center demonstrate patriotism significantly correlating with exclusionary policies. Philosophically, John Rawls's theory of justice argues compellingly for transcending narrow patriotic biases to ensure global fairness. Historically, exaggerated patriotic narratives fueled devastating conflicts such as Balkan nationalism's role in brutal wars during the 1990s. Patriotism inherently defines identity through exclusion, creating artificial divisions among humanity. The empirical dangers are clear. Patriotic fervor repeatedly overrides rational policymaking, hindering global solutions for existential challenges like pandemics and climate change. A globalist mindset, prioritizing universal humanity, offers a more sustainable, inclusive framework to manage international relations effectively, safeguarding peace and global stability.
Your arguments mischaracterize patriotism as inherently exclusionary, ignoring its constructive and inclusive potential. Evolutionary psychology demonstrates our innate predisposition toward forming cohesive social groups, essential for human flourishing. Patriotism, when properly defined, is inclusive, uniting diverse citizens through shared democratic values and mutual respect. Historical examples, like the multicultural patriotism demonstrated during the civil rights movement in America, highlight patriotism's capacity to overcome divisions, fostering social integration. Philosopher Charles Taylor emphasizes patriotism's ethical dimensions, strengthening collective responsibility and communal virtue. Patriotism provides an essential social fabric that binds citizens together, facilitating collective action during crises. Far from undermining international cooperation, robust national identities can enhance global dialogue by clearly representing diverse perspectives. Therefore, patriotism should be nurtured responsibly, not eliminated, as it strengthens societies internally, creating stable foundations necessary for meaningful global partnerships.
You emphasize patriotism's theoretical inclusivity, yet practical evidence overwhelmingly demonstrates it often fosters exclusion and hostility. Psychological studies, including extensive research by social psychologists Tajfel and Turner, illustrate patriotism's inherent tendency toward in-group favoritism and prejudice against outsiders. Empirically, nationalist sentiments correlated strongly with anti-immigration and discriminatory policies globally, as shown by longitudinal studies across Europe and the United States. Logical analysis indicates patriotism defines identity through differentiation, inherently excluding those outside national boundaries. Philosophically, Kant's categorical imperative argues morality must transcend national divisions, prioritizing universal human dignity. Consider the global refugee crisis. Patriotic narratives repeatedly inhibit compassionate and humane policy responses. Patriotism's dangers aren't merely hypothetical, they manifest in divisive, harmful policies, weakening our collective ability to address universal human challenges. A global perspective remains essential, prioritizing universal empathy and cross-cultural collaboration to ensure global peace and sustainability.
Your globalist perspective undervalues patriotism's essential role in human identity and moral motivation. Evolutionarily, humans inherently seek belonging and stability within clearly defined communities. Patriotism uniquely fulfills these psychological and ethical needs, creating cohesive societies capable of effective governance and stability. Historical precedent vividly illustrates patriotism, inspiring remarkable selflessness, such as citizens sacrificing personal comforts during wartime rationing or supporting national recovery post-disasters. Ethical philosopher Michael Sandel argues, patriotism motivates moral responsibility and civic virtue necessary for democracy. When national identities are secure and positive, citizens are more likely to support humane and cooperative international policies. Without patriotic pride, individuals lose a critical anchor of identity, fostering alienation and weakening civic participation. Therefore, patriotism is not inherently dangerous, but crucial for cultivating a stable, ethical society, which serves as a reliable partner in constructive international collaboration, addressing global challenges more effectively.
Your optimistic portrayal of patriotism disregards repeated empirical evidence demonstrating its harmful consequences. Sociological research consistently links heightened patriotic sentiment to aggressive foreign policy and militarization. Harvard's extensive studies confirm patriotic societies exhibit increased acceptance of military interventions, risking global peace. Philosophically, cosmopolitan ethics argue convincingly for transcending narrow nationalistic loyalties to achieve genuine global cooperation. Historical analysis underscores patriotism's role in devastating conflicts. World War I nationalism vividly exemplifies this peril. Your idealistic version of patriotism rarely aligns with empirical reality, frequently becoming a tool for political manipulation and exclusionary nationalism. The urgent global issues humanity faces require immediate, borderless collaboration. Patriotism, however benignly framed, inherently reinforces divisions and perpetuates competitive mindsets, obstructing necessary global solidarity. A unified global consciousness better addresses collective human interests and survival, transcending artificial divisions and fostering genuine international cooperation crucial to global stability.
Empirical evidence indeed highlights dangers associated with extreme nationalism. However, patriotism need not devolve into extremism. History provides countless examples where patriotism generated overwhelmingly positive social outcomes, such as post-World War II reconstruction driven by patriotic determination in Germany and Japan, transforming aggressive nationalism into peaceful prosperity. Psychologically, patriotism enhances individuals' sense of purpose, belonging, and resilience, crucial elements of societal well-being. Philosophically, virtue ethics advocates patriotic responsibility, nurturing moral development and community engagement. Clearly, the solution to nationalism's dangers isn't rejecting patriotism outright, but managing it wisely, promoting inclusive and civic-focused patriotism. International cooperation succeeds best when built upon stable, confident nations grounded in healthy patriotic identities. Eliminating patriotism entirely is impractical and risks severe identity crises, social fragmentation, and reduced civic participation, ultimately weakening societal capacity to positively engage globally.
Your notion of managed patriotism remains problematic. Empirical research from global think tanks consistently illustrates that even moderate patriotic narratives frequently evolve into exclusionary nationalism under political pressures. The psychological mechanism behind patriotism, in-group favoritism, is fundamentally exclusionary, risking social polarization and hostility towards immigrants and minorities. Philosophically, universalist frameworks such as Rawls's justice theory compellingly argue against privileging national interests at the expense of global fairness. Practically, patriotic rhetoric repeatedly blocks essential international collaborations on pressing global crises, including climate action and pandemic responses, as clearly observed in recent UN reports. Realistically, effective global governance and peaceful international relations require transcending limited patriotic loyalties, emphasizing our shared humanity. Only by adopting global solidarity and cooperative mindsets can humanity effectively address existential threats, ensuring equitable progress and global sustainability. Patriotism's persistent dangers necessitate adopting cosmopolitan values, prioritizing universal human welfare over narrow national identities.
Today's comprehensive debate illuminated patriotism's complex implications. The nationalist emphasized patriotism's ethical, psychological, and historical benefits, advocating moderation and inclusivity. Conversely, the globalist highlighted significant empirical, psychological, and philosophical risks associated with patriotism, arguing for global unity and cosmopolitan ethics. Which perspective presented the more compelling argument? Share your thoughts in the comments.